Alright boys, I've got a couple of questions for you. Have you boys ever built one of these? Have you boys ever gotten schloated in one of these? Have you boys got any excuse not to turn that shit shack into one of these? No, you don't. So make your way over to this timestamp and start building the base right now. Go build the base. Unless you know you want a tour, because I'm gonna do that bit right now. Just, you can stick around for that bit, I guess. Alright, let's jump on with the tour, boys. And what's this? We're not even on a build server. Gone ahead and built this one on our live server, tested it out, and it went amazing. Really enjoyed the base. Progression was really easy. Of course, this is a Satori disconnectable. I'm sure you boys know how it works. You place the roof, it disconnects, and then you can replace it back. And if we run along the other side of the base, you'll see one of our gatehouses, and you can see the second external TC. 3 TC base, 2 wide gaps, 1 main TC. Heading into the gatehouse, it's the super standard one. You would want a turret version of this. I just forgot to build it, but don't worry, that's in the tutorial, so you won't forget. I'm sure you know how the gatehouse works by now. And then we'll head into the compound. I have a little section here where I kept all my furnaces and refineries. And we can run along a little bit further, and you can see where the external TC meets the wide gaps. And we get a little peek outside of our compound, and this actually came in pretty handy quite a few times on the wipe. And of course that's replicated. Exact same thing on the opposite side. Nice spot for a turret, and you jump on top. And you can have a look outside the compound, see who's out there. Nice little head glitch. Up there you can see all the wide gap peaks that we have looking down. It's a really nice shooting floor in this base, probably the highlight. We'll head into our airlock, super basic, couple of windows to look outside. And we'll jump up into our main core. In here is meant to be a bit of an open corridor. One of the rooms is broken on the left side because we got raided and we had to seal. However, you would be looking to have a 12 box open kind of corridor section there. Then we can head down into the main core, and it's just a 2x2. Nothing really too crazy about it. This is just meant to be the perfect expansion from a nice 2x2. So in there, that's your 2x2, your starter base, and of course you'd armor all that up, and it's quite expensive to get in there. We'll head up the jump up now, and that takes us to our 3rd floor. This is where I've got the bedrooms, and we've got some defenses here as well that help us look onto shooting floor. So this would be a 4-man base, 2 beds in each section, and they also get a locker in there as well. And there's a turret on this floor to cover too. There would have been a turret on the other floor as well. Again, we got raided, but we defended. That went well. If we open up these garage doors, you can see it's symmetrical on each side now. We have 2 ways up to our shooting floor, so that we can't get held down in this area. And we've got a nice little peek up there that looks into our shooting floor. And it actually covers the way down from our roof. I'll just show you now. That's what I mean, so it covers that bit there. And I'll show you boys the shooting floor. Shooting floor is super nice. We've got the breach peaks, you drop down into them. Also covers the gatehouse. Jump up on top of them, they turn into roof peak ups with a couple of external windows as well. So we've got 4 roof peak ups over the roof. And I spammed vending machines just because we were selling all our guns basically at the end, but you wouldn't need to do that. Also space for 2 bedrooms on here with some boxes above as well. Didn't end up really using these, but of course you guys can. And a nice section of wide gaps as well that can also be used to peek back in towards the base too if you stand inside the bedrooms. Breaches again, of course there's 4 of them, and symmetrical jump ups as well. In the center on this floor as well, there's just space for even more storage. This is probably depot storage as well. If you're landing in on a minicopter or something like that, you can depot in here. And then I'll show you guys the roof if we just jump up in this triangle. Little heli peak there. It's just really to get the roof in there. That's what the window's there for. And some more wide gaps on the side. But we'll go to the roof now. Ended up slapping a vending machine bunker on the roof just to sell some stuff. And even more vending machines near the end as well. 4 turrets cover the roof nicely with 4 windmills spread out across. That seemed to power everything that we needed. Probably more than enough power, but I really don't know how to do electricity. So yeah. That's a vending machine in action. In the tutorial, I'll show you guys a few of them in the compound. I built those, or you can easily slap one on the roof like I've done. And yeah, that's the entire tour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that in a live server. It's a little bit different, but it went super well. Enjoyed the base. Let's jump on to the build costs now. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. This is what you're going to need to build the base. And obviously this will match up with the Sanctuary version as opposed to the tour that I just gave. Second up is the total box amounts. So many boxes of material you're going to need to build the base. Makes it easier to visualize. Lastly is the upkeep. This is the total upkeep you'll need to spread between the 3 TCs. Of course, your main TC taking up the majority of the upkeep. Now you boys know what you need to build the base, what you need to upkeep it. Let's get on to how to build it. Alright, let's slap a 2x2 down with a triangle for the airlock, 2 single doors on that. And then we'll build our loot room and our TC compartment in the 2 front facing squares. TC is going to go on the left hand side square. And use the loot room to build your half height triangle once you got your TC into the left hand side corner. Just like this, with a double door in front. And we'll split it up with a double door and add in the rest of our walls. You can get some ramp loot rooms in here as well for extra honeycombing. Split it up with last door, ceiling on, and that's our starter completed. Of course, you'd need some doors on that as well. I'll zoom in on the cost. This is the build materials you'll need to slap the starter down. Just a 2x2. Moving onwards, let's add in a couple more triangles inside our airlock, and they're going to lead up the way. You get a double door in here and a half height jump that you can again use the shelf from inside to place. And we'll seal that up. Get a door on this. You can put a half height shelf in there for the turret. Alright, we're going to drop off the backside and we're going to place in some honeycombing so that we can then build our jump up from there. The square is going to be our airlock and the triangles are in there for honeycombing, with the center triangle being our jump up. Getting double doors in there for our airlock and of course our windows, and then the half height jump goes in there with a double door in front. Get some roofs on top of that, and we're going to jump up from the left hand side triangle so both of our jump ups are facing each other. Don't forget, this is also going to be a jump up to the floor above, so we're going to leave that open and put a half height triangle in there too. Just like that, so both jump ups are facing each other. So we've got a nice big space to create our loot room. This extra triangle here can get walled in over at this side. We don't use that for anything at all. And over there it gets a roof, leaving the roof off the other triangle. Next we have 2 squares and 2 triangles, and we're going to use them to create one big loot room that will allow us to place up to 12 boxes. We'll get the shelves in for our loot room and we'll separate it with a wall down the middle. Once again, we'll get some doors in front. And we're not going to do any ramps here because we include the triangle in the loot room, so it wouldn't work. And you can wall that off at the back, and that's the second floor done. Slap a roof on top, apart from the jump up, of course. Next, I'm just going to work on the foundations a little bit more. So to match our airlock on the opposite side, we're just going to add honeycombing here. And this is just to keep the base symmetrical. Or you can actually use this for a loot room as well. It still acts as honeycombing, but it's a little compound external loot room too. Completely optional if you'd rather have honeycombing or external loot room. Then we'll get the triangle honeycombing on the 2 free sides of the 2x2 we've not worked on yet. 3 triangles are going to go on this end. And of course we'll slap walls on here. And we'll raise them up to match the height basically of the 2x2 so far. And exactly the same over here as well. We're just raising the walls up for our honeycombing. Boom. And then we can also raise the honeycombing on top of our airlock and on top of our external loot room. Adding in floors on there as well. Next, we're going to drop down to the side with the 3 triangles and start building our wide gaps. We're not actually going to upgrade them for just now, we just want to get our external TCs down so we can claim the build spot so no one can grief us. We're just getting this little shape down. I'm leaving it in twig. We're not actually building the wide gaps yet. I'll go into detail a lot more later on. Just laying it out so you guys can see what it is going to look like, but do not upgrade any of this just now. Unless you got the spare materials, but this is not really necessary yet to get this built. Again, same on this side, just laying it out so you guys can see exactly what we'll be building in the future. If you've got the spare mats or you're throwing the whole base down at once, just build along with me, I guess. You don't need to demolish this. I'm leaving it all in twigs so you guys can imagine roughly what we're doing here. And then from this little shape we can build out to our external TC off that center triangle there. And we're going to build out 4 squares away from that and slap down our little triangle TC here. Completely up to you how you want to do your TC. I just usually do single doors, I'm lazy with it, but you could do a window and a single door as well. That's a good combination. So any of the options you want for your external. It's important to keep these kind of expensive to raid, but often I get lazy with them in wipes. And then I'm just going to leave the external TCs there and demolish, let's say, everything we built. We'll do the wide gaps a lot later on. But it's good to have these TCs down just to claim the build spot. That's then placed. And we'll get the other one down as well. Do things a little bit faster this time. Over on the opposite end. I'm not going to build out the whole wide gaps, and we'll just throw down our TC. So we've got both of those down. And we don't need to worry about getting griefed now. Up a door, roof and all that, nice and quick, and demolish the rest of the twig, we don't need it just now. Right, let's get back to building onto our main 2x2, we'll be on the 3rd floor now, which is our bedroom section. Let's start it off, including the bedrooms, we're going to do 2 squares and 2 triangles. 1 square, 1 triangle, split down the middle basically, so 2 beds with a locker. Just like that, split up. And you can keep your lockers in the single doors, and your beds in the 2 squares. Fit 4 of them in total. Over here, make sure you do a half wall and a window. Remember, this is our peek up into the shooting floor. Don't mess this up. Easy step to forget. So make sure you don't forget to do that. And so this floor is looking like so far. You can slap some door frames through this. And we can wall off the backside as well. We don't use that for anything. Get your door frames in there. And the way to remember it, if you've done it right, you shouldn't need to create a half height build up. You can just place this triangle in. And that's how you know you've done the roof peek up. We'll get a frame in there as well to stop people from using it against us. And everything can get a floor. Obviously that door frame in the middle as well, and then everything can get a floor. Just like that. And again, we're going to raise the honeycombing up. A little bit different on the 3 triangles. This center one here is just getting a half wall. That allows us to place a frame inside the wide gaps for our bedroom. So if you can't place a frame later on in the bedroom step, it's because you've messed up here, so that's what that issue is. And you can slap floors on there as well, on the opposite sides. Boom and boom. Alright. 4th floor is just some external, well, an extra loot room on the roof. Depot storage for me coming the minicopter. There's just a double 2 square loot room there, and you can get some ramps on that as well, if you want. And then separate down with the door. And get a ceiling on top of your middle section too. Then we can get some frames in between, all the way through like this, with a half wall to complete it, and some roofs on top, and exactly the same again over here. Boom and boom. Now, once you've gotten to this stage, you're ready to start building back with your wide gaps. So we're going to come back 4 squares that I've just built from our external TC. We're going to do a half moon after that. And we can upgrade our half moon to stone, or whatever else you're using. We're going to demolish those squares because we're going to build a disconnectable here, linking it up with frames. Next, we'll slap down this little connection section. I don't know what to call it, but this is what I've been using and I like it a lot. Instead of a frame here, I would do a floor. Make your first one a floor. I've found that that's a lot more efficient. So I've been using. I hadn't realized that at the time of recording this though. So yeah, slap a floor there in your first section next to your connection. Next, we'll build that vending machine bunker that I was talking about in the tutorial, or in the tour. This one's inside the compound. You're going to want to slant your vending machine slightly so that people can't access it. Put quite a decent tilt into it. Sometimes you can place these wrong and they are accessible. So make sure you watch the right tutorials on these because there's a few tutorials that don't have a good method. This method should work pretty well, just as long as you slant it away slightly. And then, yeah, this one's definitely not accessible. Nothing you can do to grab that one. And upgrade the foundations the vending machine's sitting on, and it's a soft side job for the wall, or 8 rockets if they want it, if they want the loot. And we can finish off our wide gaps from this point, just copying the foundations that I'm placing, doing it nice and slow for you guys. Just like that. Upgrading that other foundation that the vending machine was on. And we can upgrade our wide gaps all the way around. Just creating the exact same shape that we did before. And the same on the opposite side once you got that upgraded. Just showing you guys a little shape, you know what to follow. And you can demolish all the extra bits and upgrade your foundations. Again, these will be decaying until the frames are there. These triangles that are touching each other, some of them don't count as touching, like the way they're placed. And we're going to repeat that again, exact same thing. This one's going to be a little bit faster, just for those of you guys who don't need it quite as in depth. Exact same connection, building it back. Get the section connection down. And remember to do a floor here instead. Trust me, it's a lot better than a frame, and it makes the placement easier for your barricade. Or if you do a frame like I do, just slap a grill inside, and then it has the same kind of effect. A little bit cheaper if they were going to go in from there, but. And I'll show you guys the vending machine bunker again. There's not really much to explain here. You just kind of watch what I'm doing, and you can see what's up. One of the roofs need to get upgraded, one of them doesn't, to avoid the conditional being created. And again, you can see I'm tilting it slightly to the right, opening it up at the left, because it's really hard to access from the left hand side. You can really tilt it, just like that. Again, that's not lootable. But just be careful, because there's a few tutorials out there that don't have this thing right, so make sure you got that tilt in there, and you're tilting it away from the side that it's closest to. And then we're going to build the rest of our wide gaps all the way around again. Exact same thing that we already did on the opposite side. All the way around like that. Most wipes I end up keeping my wide gaps stone, but you don't want to get these metaled up. I often just upgrade the other things quicker than this because an online raid isn't that likely. Ended up getting one in this wipe though, and defended it in this base, easy peasy. And then we can fill in some honeycombing on the sides. This is just to match up where the drop downs are to make sure there are no weak spots into the 2x2. And they line up perfectly with the shooting floor as well. 4 of them that you need to raise up to the maximum height. You could do this earlier on. I'm just leaving it till this stage just now because I count it as part of the shooting floor. But this honeycombing can go in way earlier if you want. Once all the walls are down, we're going to add in some frames. Frames are a little bit different here. Remember, on some sections it's going to be a frame and a half wall. Don't forget to do that. We're going to have breach peaks on this, so just keep that in mind. Don't forget to do that. Get those half walls in there. And there are also going to be windows instead of frames as well as we go higher up. Some spots are simple though and it's all frames, but just keep in mind around about this half wall, which watch carefully what I'm doing. Don't want to mess those up. Got our windows on the outside and then a half level lower. Behind those windows we're going to have even more windows to peek back in towards the base. There you go, these are the ones that I was on about. And then that's all of them down. Let's slap some floors along this as well. There you go. And floors in here as well, so we can stand. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and build the exact same thing over on the opposite side. Get our frames in again, our half walls, our windows. Just make sure you're following along, easy peasy. And we'll get our floors in as well. Okay, now that the shooting floor is built, we need to get some windows going around this. We'll start over on the bedroom side. We're going to do a half wall window section here, because this little bit here is just going to be 1.5 tall. We've got some space for boxes and stuff like that. This is technically a bedroom, however you can also use the windows as a shooting floor too. Should be able to get that frame in there unless you accidentally filled in the honeycombing. If you made that mistake, it's okay, the frame's not essential. And then we can build our other bedroom at the complete opposite side of that. Exactly the same thing we're building again. Don't forget to place your boxes as well inside there for some nice respawn kits inside the shooting floor. And all of your windows can go in as normal except for this open section here at the front facing above your airlock. We're going to do a half wall and then a window. I often forget this step as well, so try and remember to do that. In the middle, above your airlock and above your external room, we're doing a half wall and a window. Then we can get the frames inside our shooting floor all the way around, just copy what I'm doing. You don't need to place doors in all of these, it just helps to separate up the shooting floor slightly and gives a little bit more stability. All the way around getting our frames down. And then remember we've got 2 jump ups and then the rest of this place can get filled in with floors. We'll get those floors in now. And I'm placing a frame in here so that we can place a roof on top of that later on. So that frame is essential. And it helps to remind you not to seal it over as well. That's our jump up, so don't mess that up. There we go. And then we can build our airlocks that go out onto the roof. Now that we've got everything built in. That's what it should be looking like on this side. Make sure you get the half wall window. And I'm sure the rest of the shooting floor is easy enough to fill out. 2 windows on each side. Half wall to close it up, add a roof on top, and then we'll get our door in front of that. And exactly the same over here as well. 2 airlocks out into roof. Add a triangle inside the shooting floor to jump again. Should be able to place that in without a build up. Nice. And to finish this off, we've got to do some roofs and some windmill towers. For starters, we're going to have backwards facing triangle roofs on top of each of the roof pickups. That's going to hide a turret in there. Cover it from outside. There we go. Then our bedrooms are also going to have some triangle roofs as well. All facing in to create a little bit of a tower. And you can either slap a turret inside here, or I just slapped a box when I was playing. It's a pretty hidden box. 4 turrets is enough anyway on the roof. And it's just a nice little depot storage directly on the roof, and the box is tucked away, no one really sees it. Then we can get our roofs placed in, so beside of our little tower things where the bedrooms are, we can have 2 triangle roofs. Then over to this side it gets more confusing. Make sure you clip it to the right one. Look which one I'm selecting. We're going to have 2 triangles there. Square in the middle of the frame that we placed. And the same over there. Already done that one. And exact same here as well. We already did that too. Now let's get some windmill towers down. This one gets 2 frames and this one gets 2 frames as well, but each 2 sides will be different heights, so they shouldn't get in the way of each other. Just like that, and then you can slap your 4 windmills down if you even need them all. Just like that. And if you're feeling ballsy, break the triangles. It should stand on the frame, and it looks a lot cooler. No self sides. And that's the roof finished, and it's almost the base done. However, we're going to need some gatehouses. No idea why I've left this towards the end, but yeah. I'm sure you guys can build it in any order you want. We're going to come out 2 squares and then do our triangles off the second square. Build our little peak up back in towards the base. Windows facing out the way from the gatehouse with 2 doors to separate it all. Get a roof on top. Leave out the triangles until you've got your roofs placed in. Do that from above. Try not to mess up the jump. Slap a roof on top of that, and then a layer of half walls so we can hide some turrets and some boxes in this section. There you go. And you can get a ramp in there for fun. And we'll build another one of them over on this side as well. Exactly the same thing. And then it's easy enough to place 3 walls in between. 3 high walls is the perfect amount to go in between the compound separator and the gatehouse. Repeat that 4 times, so that's 12 high walls for this bit. And then boom. Once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys have enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. Remember, we've got a Discord if you need any help, and there's a lot of people in there that can help you. Super quick responses, all that good stuff. Hope to see the space out there in some servers. No more excuses, guys. If you're building the 2x2s, I don't want to see the horrible 2x2 towers with door peaks and stuff like that. Get one of these built instead. And yeah, I'll see you boys in the next video. See ya.